So, you want to start game development in 2025, but every tutorial you watch leaves you more confused? Yeah, same here. I've been doing this for 3 years, and today I'll break down how to actually start, and what engine to use, how to learn, and how to avoid the mistakes I made myself. Oh, and if you want to see more game dev content, hit the like and subscribe buttons, and let me know what tutorial you'd like to see me do next down in the comments below. Now, I've been doing game development for about 3 years, and I've tried all the major 3 engines for an adequate amount of time each. Now, here's my take on which engine to use. It really does not matter. Lots of people argue over which engine to use, but honestly, all of the major engines are capable of making amazing games. Pick one that feels right for you and just get started. Personally, I'm using Unity at this very current moment, as you can see with my Operation Nightroot devlog series. And therefore, the last half or so of this video will be surrounding how to start game development in Unity specifically. But if you're here to learn about each individual game engine, keep watching, or else just skip to the timestamp on screen. Now, if you're having trouble with finding game engines, here's my guide. The main 3 I will look at are Unity, Unreal, and Godot. Now, let's start with Unity. While Unity has had some licensing issues, that has been solved, and many good games have come from Unity. As you can see from my notes, Unity is very good at 2D games on all fronts. It is very easy to make any type of 2D game in Unity, and you can achieve a very good prototype and product relatively quickly. Some examples of 2D games made in Unity are Cult of the Lamb, Hollow Knight, Rain World, and Cuphead, and many other smaller and bigger titles. Unity is also really good for low-end to mid-end 3D games. The asset store that Unity has is filled with low and mid-poly assets that make a lower-end 3D game very easy to make. While there is HDRP, the highest rendering setup for Unity, that does compare to Unreal's graphics, it is not really performant. Some great 3D games made in Unity are Subnautica, early prototypes of Rust, The Forest, Ori, and many other smaller titles. All of these games are made in Unity and are known as some of the best games ever made. Unity also features a unique component system. When a developer makes a game, they can create a game object, which is literally just any object in the game, and they can add components to them, such as rigid body that allows physics, colliders for collision, and custom components that are coded in C# scripts. C# is a very readable language in terms of other coding languages, and is not a bad choice as a first language to learn. This component system also drastically makes it easier to prototype a game idea very quickly. Moving on, let's look at Unreal. Unreal is known as the platform for AAA developers. It has insane post-processing and graphics already built in and compiled, and it has tons of base templates that allow for swift prototyping. Now, as seen in my notes, Unreal is really good for mid to high-end 3D games. That is its specialty. Unreal does not really have a good solution for 2D games, as their only option is a paper 2D system, which is shown more to be a 2D sort of thing than it really is 2D. Unreal is commonly known for games like Fortnite, Hogwarts Legacy, and Stray, just to name a few. That's great and all, but how do you actually code in Unreal? Well, Unreal has 2 systems, Blueprints and C++. C++ is a very complex coding language, and I would really not recommend using C++ as your first coding language, but really, you do you. Blueprints is a visual scripting language where you drag and connect nodes together to form scripts. Both are powerful, but if you want to use the most of Unreal, you have to use at least a little bit of C++. Taking a step away from those major 2 engines, let's move on to Godot. Godot is an open-sourced game engine that is known for 2D games. It does have a 3D function, however, many people do not end up using the 3D side of Godot, not because it is not powerful, but just because the 3D space is dominated by Unity and Unreal. It uses a system many love, as its system for objects is similar to Unity's component system in its own node-based system. However, you cannot make a game in Godot without learning its coding language. Godot uses a custom language called GDscript. There is a way to use C# with Godot, but that whole process is annoying, and there are not many tutorials on C# Godot. GDscript is very similar to Python. It is incredibly readable and has little syntax, and overall is a very basic yet very powerful language. Not many big hit titles have been made in Godot, as Godot is more popular among indie developers. So overall, which game engine should you use? Well, you should use Godot if you want an easier coding experience and if you want to work in 2D. If you want to work in lower-end 3D and all-around 2D and are good using a slightly more complex language, and use Unreal if you want higher-end 3D games. Now, all of the Unity developers have hopefully joined us back. So, in Unity, where do you start from the beginning? Personally, I do not recommend following a video tutorial, but follow an actual course. Many people on YouTube follow videos like Bracky's How to Make a Game, but this doesn't help you create a game by yourself and long term. Best course, in my opinion, that's free is on Unity Learn, which is a free program that you can use your Unity account to sign into. Its name is Create with Code. It is a 5-unit program that will interactively teach you what C# is, how to use Unity, and even go into more intermediate concepts. It will teach you how to make 5 different games, all showcasing a primary feature. At the end of the course, you will be given some assets, and you can use your previous knowledge to make an arcade-style game completely on your own. From here, I recommend posting that game on itch.io. Link for the whole course is definitely going to be in the description. Now, what is great about this course is that it will go through everything. It is about 40 hours long and teaches you from the very basics of downloading Unity to making fully fledged games on your complete own. Some of these ideas formed in this class could lead to a very successful first game as well. You can post a game on Steam that's used from these ideas and make serious money from it. But what do you do after this course? Well, a lot of people run into that problem after watching tutorials because you have nowhere to go. Well, here's my take. Keep making arcade-style games. My first 3 or 4 games were remakes of older arcade games. The good thing about these is that they're fast to make, give you lots of valuable experience, and are endlessly replayable, meaning you don't have to make a whole story just for your second game. Also, I highly recommend not making a multiplayer game right away. A lot of people around this time are making multiplayer games and dream games as their first ever commercial game, or game that ever in general. If you have an idea for a multiplayer game, say an open world combat game, but you can't make an open world combat game in single player, you can't make an open world combat game in multiplayer. If you do not have the knowledge to make single player game like how you want to, then you cannot make a multiplayer game how you want to. If you can, go for it. If not, tone the idea down and make it in single player. Then maybe your next game could be multiplayer, if you handle it in the same fashion as mentioned earlier. Now after this, what then? Well, you should begin making games that make you happy. Make a story-based survival game if you want, because now you have the knowledge to give that idea justice. All the previous things that I've said aren't because you physically can't make your dream game or multiplayer game, but you won't give the idea justice, and at the end of the day, you won't feel good about yourself because you will have had this amazing idea and not have been able to bring it to justice. Now, if you are making a game and don't know a concept or a function, just search it up, watch a video or two. But don't follow the tutorial while the video is playing. Watch the video until you actually understand the concept. So much so that you should be able to tell another person about that idea that doesn't know about this. Then follow the tutorial while the video is playing, because you have fully understood the concept, so later, when you're trying to do the exact same thing over again, you don't need the tutorial, and you can just piece together the answer by yourself. Following this format from the start could stop you from being in tutorial hell, as many game developers call it. Now there it is, my take on how to get into game development. So hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.